Warning, 30 Screams or Less may contain spoilers about movies that have recently been released. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, come back, and enjoy the show. Or, if you don't want to waste your time watching the movie and rather have two random horror dudes watch it for you, we got you covered as well. Welcome everyone to 30 Screams or Less, a horror movie podcast where we review horror movies in 30 minutes or less. Today's movie we're going to be reviewing is called Abigail. It's directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, written by Stephen Shields and Guy Busick, who wrote the last two Screams, by the way. I actually found that out today as I was kind of putting my notes in.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, that name looks familiar. And then I looked it up, I'm like, that's why. Starring Scream alum Melissa Barrera as Joey, Dan Stevens as Frank, and Alisha Weir as Abigail. The plot of this movie is, after a group of criminals kidnap the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat to an isolated mansion unaware that they're locked inside with no normal little girl. But before we get into it, Corey, last night I was looking in the mirror and you know what? My beard was looking gnarly. And I said to myself, I can't look like this. I got to do something. So I decided to break out Beard Octane's beard wash and conditioner along with their beard oil. And dude, my beard looked amazing. I'm glad you turned me on to Beard Octane.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, I've been using their products for years and I can vouch for them. And whether you're pounding IPAs or chopping wood, you got to look your best. Visit beardoctane.com and use the code 30screams10 at checkout for a 10% discount. It helps us, and like I said, the products are absolutely incredible. They're local too. They're based out of Connecticut. So help them out and support small businesses. We're not just slinging beard grooming supplies. We've been using them for a while.
Yeah, we have. With that said, 30 Screams or Less starts now. Corey, what did you think of Abigail?
So, Steve, this is exactly what we were talking about last week when we did Immaculate. Horror films that are in theaters these days typically aren't good. We literally talked about this, drilled it into the ground.
Yeah.
But Abigail, I know it was in theaters and I think it made a ton of money and it was pretty good and I didn't hate it at all. Yeah. I did have a few minor gripes, but the good outweighed the shit.
Okay, well, that's fair. I mean, as long as you had like a few gripes, I thought it was great. The whole time I'm just fucking entertained as anything because the mix between the horror, comedy, gore, like crazy, there was blood everywhere. There was people exploding like fucking balloons.
Yeah, and that's what was cool about it because most movies that try and mix like horror and comedy, it just usually falls flat on its face, but they did really well working it and they worked together in this.
Yeah, I thought so too. I love the beginning, how they're starting off with fucking Swan Lake. And immediately I'm thinking, oh, cool, Black Swan 2, Electric Boogaloo.
This time it's personal.
Ever see Black Swan? That movie's fucked.
A Natalie Portman one?
Yeah.
No. I've heard Natalie Portman's rap, though.
Oh, sick. Oh, actually, I have heard that. She's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
She's got flow.
The Lonely Island rap?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. Not a lot of people, when they hear that, they're like, there's no way that's Natalie Portman. Actually, the Lonely Island has a podcast now, and they talk about that song.
Just the whole time, that's all they talk about is that song?
Each episode is like a different like song and like how it came to be and stuff. And they talked about how they like asked Natalie to do a song, and she wrote all that herself.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, Corey, from the beginning, hearing that music from Swan Lake, I was like, okay, I love hearing this shit because, yes, it reminded me of Black Swan. And later on, we have this really cool scene where the headless body of a human being is dancing with Abigail.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Swan Lake is playing. It's fucking great.
I didn't know anything about this Swan Lake thing until just now because I haven't seen Black Swan.
Yeah.
So...
Okay, yeah. I don't remember the name of the actual song because it's all usually in Latin and like these ginormous friggin' names. And then it's like they add a number like chapter 2. I don't know. They do all sorts of weird stuff with song names. And I just never really remember them all. But I know this song. I think this song is it's classic. You hear it all the time in movies, especially anything fucking ballet, including Abigail, who was doing her routines pretty much the whole entire movie, which I thought was hysterical, by the way. Her chasing people, doing pirouettes and stuff. fucking pirouettes.
Like when they were going down the stairs.
Yeah. She's like banister walking, and she's doing the whole like, arms to the side like she's on a balancing beam. That was funny. But this little girl fucking killed it, man. I thought Alisha Weir is going to be a star. Based on like her performance in this, I think she's going to be going somewhere.
Did you read my notes?
No, I didn't.
Okay, we'll get there.
We'll get there? All right. So what, you don't like her?
We'll get there.
We'll get there? Okay. So
yeah, well, we keep it a surprise.
We'll keep it a surprise then?
Don't fucking scroll to read them either.
All right, I won't. So, yeah, I think she's got a lot going for her. I thought she was really twisted in this movie. But this movie basically starts off like a ransom movie. They're going to kidnap a kid, which I'm fine with. They're usually pretty good movies. Ransom, for instance, is a great ransom movie. You know, because that's like the fucking ransom movie, in my opinion. That movie's nuts.
That's the Liam Neeson one, right?
Wrong.
Oh, right. That's Tooken.
Yeah, that's Tooken. There you go. Ransom is with
Mel
Gibson. Yeah, that's a good one, man. Give me back my son. You will never see a single
Tooken happened.
Yeah, that was Tooken before Tooken happened. That movie's great. I haven't seen it in so long. It's intense all the way through. Just he's crazy in it, but he's crazy anyways.
I was gonna say Mel Gibson's a crazy racist. We're not gonna talk about him.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about him. He's been canceled like 40 times, right?
Yeah, 41. Let's go. Move on.
Moving on. Okay. Starts off just a simple ransom. They take the little girl from her house. They bring her to this abandoned mansion, and it's a pretty stacked cast, man. We got Melissa Barrera, right? We got Angus Cloud.
Rip.
Yeah, Rip.
That was another thing. Was this his last role?
It might have been. I mean, like they did the whole rest in peace Angus Cloud at the very end. So maybe it was.
I'm consulting the internet right now. Oh yeah, Angus Cloud's scene-stealing final performance in Abigail.
Scene stealing?
Yeah, that's a stretch.
Yeah, I'd say so too. More like his head was stolen.
Himself.
He did.
He played what's his face from Euphoria in this movie.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, does this kid play the same role in every movie? Show some range. I'm talking Ill Will of the Dead.
Fezco.
Let's go. Jesus. Like, pull it together, man. Your fucking career, you can't be a stoner character the whole time.
Right? Dude thinks he's Melissa McCarthy and he can play the same role over and over again.
No, some people just get like pitching help like that. The Rock does that. All the movies that he's in, he's pretty much, the big burly action guy. He hasn't really done anything dramatic, really. And we've kind of talked about this before with like wrestlers and how I feel Dave Bautista's career may be better than The Rock or Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, Batista he has more range.
Yes.
What you just said, The Rock plays the same character over and over again, though we saw that picture of him today in that, what was that movie called? The Smashing Machine.
Yeah, looking like Ken Shamrock.
Looking like Ken the Rock.
Yeah, Ken the Rock. Dude, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's Ken Shamrock. Why are you showing this to me? And then I look closer, I'm like, oh, that's actually The Rock. They changed up his nose in it. Like they gave him a prosthetic nose.
Legit brand new nose, no tattoos, hair.
Yeah, couldn't tell it was him. Maybe that's his first role as being like dramatic.
Maybe he's probably not going to be driving cars over mountains in that movie and out of helicopters.
No, he won't be in space, nothing like that. Who fucking knows? Actually, I don't think The Rock has gone into space yet, has he?
Not until they remake Armageddon.
Oh, yes. Armageddon 2? Say it.
No, I'm going to save it for when it actually comes out. I don't want to spoil it.
It already probably came out, man, and it probably was like a blockbuster direct-to-DVD.
Armageddon 2, featuring The Rock.
And the asteroid is The Rock?
It's actually The Rock's fanny pack.
Yeah. The Earth is the fanny pack. The Rock is the meteor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they just have to collide. And then it just turns into like that giant fucking meme. The world gets smashed to smithereens. And then it's just a giant picture of The Rock wearing a turtleneck and a fanny pack.
I love it.
All right. Cool. That's how stars are made, people. By planets exploding and showing like The Rock.
What the fuck were we talking about before we started talking about The Rock for 20 minutes?
We just went on this freaking tangent. Oh, we were talking about range in movies. So like Angus Cloud, he played basically the same character as he does in Euphoria, which, I mean, he does it well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, good for him. But, rip, rest in peace, Angus Cloud, or rest in power. It's a bummer, huh? A little too soon for that.
Oh, yeah, especially because, like, we talked about this before. Euphoria is actually a really great show.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the best characters in that show. I hope they bring him back as a hologram in the next season.
I don't see why not. They have all this AI shit now.
All right. He's still in the show.
Yeah. Well, his brother died in the show too.
Yeah, he got clipped in the last episode, a couple last episodes, I think.
Yeah. That was a hell of an
ashtray.
Yeah. He's just like, fuck it. Pulls out his like an AK-47. And he's like a 10-year-old, like probably younger.
He's actually a boxer in real life.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wait, like the young kid?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's cool. I had no idea.
Yeah, and I believe he's undefeated.
Wow. That's wild. So, anyways, yeah, we can actually continue with the movie because Angus is actually, you know what we were talking about? We were talking about the cast. Now, this is a pretty like solid cast. So, yeah. Melissa Barrera, Angus Cloud. I wrote them all down. I'm scrolling to my notes. Here we go. So, Catherine Newton is from Freaky, and she's also in the new, what's that Frankenstein movie?
Lisa Frankenstein.
Thanks. Yeah.
Which we talked about doing.
Yeah, we should do that. It seems like it's going to be a rom-com/horror movie, which I'm all about. Fuck it. So maybe we'll do that next.
Holy shit. She got cast as Cassie Lang in the Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, really? No
that's
shit.
Right. They recast the character, and that's who they got to play the new Cassie Lang.
Well, that makes sense. So
she's in the Marvel universe, too.
Oh, well, good for her. Jeez.
Because she was in the end of the Marvels.
Oh, was she?
Well, they were talking about going to recruit her for, like, the female Avengers, basically. The Young Avengers, that's what they're called. So, yeah,
Catherine Newton from Freaky, she's in this. Kevin Durand, I haven't followed his career, really. Last time I saw him, though, he was in Smoking Aces.
The basketball player?
No, the actor, Kevin Durand. Not Durant. I don't even know basketball, and I know that that's wrong.
I was like, fuck, I miss Kevin Durant?
Yeah, just a big basketball player, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. So, Kevin Durand, he was in Smoking Aces, which I thought was a fun movie, too. That movie's jam-packed with actors.
Clive Owen?
Yeah.
He kind of vanished.
I think he's got like this one show on AMC or something. I kept seeing commercials about it, but I don't know. It looked like he was some sort of detective or private investigator in Europe, something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. But have you ever seen Shoot 'Em Up?
Is that the one where he jams a carrot in somebody's eye?
You're damn right.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've seen it.
That movie's
He's like,
great.
I hate people who litter.
Yeah. Like the jumping out of a plane, guns fight, it's insane. I love it.
Yeah,
so,
I did love
so
that
dumb.
one.
I love over-the-top dumb movies sometimes.
It was kind of like Crank.
Crank's good. Crank 2 is even better.
Yeah.
Because Crank 2 is nuts.
Oh. All right. Let's talk about Abigail.
Let's talk about Abigail. So...
we loved it, but we're not even talking about it.
I know.
That's not the norm for us.
It's not. Usually if we shit talk the thing, then we're just going off into our own little tangents. And yeah, let's get back into it. All right. Melissa's in charge of taking care of Abigail. So she's like the caretaker. Like they all have their type of roles. That's her role, is the kind of the mother role, making sure the child's okay. She takes off Abigail's mask so that way she can just be a little more comfortable later on. That works out to a disadvantage for Frank, who is actually seen by Abigail, and he's holding a gun to her head, and he's trying to figure out who her father is, because they established that the father is some sort of underworld type character, or like they say he's almost like the Antichrist, or that he's an urban legend. So when I hear that, I'm like, oh, shit's about to get fucked up. But immediately, though, I was thinking, as Abigail's talking, I'm like, this girl's probably been around for centuries or something like that. Because I have this feeling, yes, it's like vampire stuff. So I'm thinking she's been around forever. But we do find out.
She's been living in the Castlevania house forever.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So, but we do find out later on, I think we can just skip through a lot of this shit. We'll get to the kills. So they find out that Abigail's father is a big fucking deal, and some people think of him as an urban legend. He killed a bunch of people at the top of a building once that was guarded off by cops, and there was only one way in. So they're saying that he could have done it somehow. They're freaked out. Frank is freaked out now that he knows that's who the father is. This is when the murders start happening. First to go, who do you think it is?
Yeah, it's got to be Angus.
Of course it's Angus. It's always the stoner. So
yeah.
Angus goes.
Off with his head. Dude, so he goes in the kitchen, he hears sounds, and he's looking around to make sure that no fuckery is happening, because now they're all worried about Abigail's father showing up. And he goes into this room, and he sees a mouse. Or no, he sees a rat.
But
you know what? Side note, I was just thinking, I wonder if he was the one that died first because that was as far as they got into filming with him
that's a good point.
before he died.
But how would you plan that? They're like, oh, we know you're dead, so we're just going to throw you in the scene real quick. Like they use his actual head for...
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Movie
Maybe
magic.
that was the part with Abigail dancing with the corpse was like improv. I don't know.
Oh, can you imagine that was his last scene, improv?
Right.
He's like, just do what you got to do to the body to make the scene happen. He's that much of a pro. So, all right, he's in this like basement room looking around, and he turns and he gets startled by this rat. I don't know if you saw this. Did you see this ginormous ass rat in the background? That looked like it was a fucking raccoon.
Now that you say that, I did not see it.
Oh, dude, I was like, what is that thing? It was massive. It was like, it looked like, like you have a bigger size cat, right? Like easily bigger than your dogs, probably combined. It was just like on this table in the background. So I'm thinking, was that Abigail maybe? Was that Abigail's father, Lazar? I think that was the name. Laser. No, it's not Laser.
I don't remember. It was something Lazar.
Yeah, it was
definitely
Lazar.
was.
It was Lazar. What I didn't mention, though, is that they are all named after the Rat Pack, which is, it's kind of funny because Angus's character dies via a rat. So it's almost like tongue in cheek.
Don Rickles was a part of the Rat Pack? I don't think so.
I don't know, man. I know there's like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah. Don Rickles wasn't. He was a comedian.
Yeah. Well, maybe he just got his name because he was just listing off old people from that time era. So maybe he's like, oh, a funny guy, Don Rickles over here. That type of thing. Maybe that's what the deal was. Angus gets fucking...
Joey Bishop. There was a Joey.
In the Rat Pack?
Yeah, in the 1960s, the group featured Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., and Joey Bishop.
Okay.
So that explains Melissa Barrera's character.
Yep. Joey.
I don't know what the backstory is on the others. Like Don Rickles, for example.
Yeah, I think...
And Peter.
Honestly, I think my idea of he probably thought he was being funny, so he just called him some sort of comedian from like the old days.
Yeah, maybe.
Because he didn't get a name or something. He's like, hey, fucking Don Rickles over here. Maybe like being kind of sarcastic, and it's like, okay, I guess I'm Rickles.
Yeah, he was cool. I like that character.
Yeah, he was a good character. Dude, his death was like gnarly, and it happened so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're going around the house because now Angus, he's dead in this movie, and they're going around, they're trying to find Lazar and seeing like if they can fucking stop him or whatever. They're all freaking out at this point. So Joey and Rickles, they decide that they're going to work together because they're ex-army people. Joey was a medic, and Rickles, I think, was Marines. I don't know. I don't think they went too in detail, but I know they were both armed services. So they agree that they're going to work together to get out of there. Literally, Rickles turns around, I swear, walks 5 feet, and then he just stops. Dead. Like, he's standing there completely, like, still, and Joey looks back. It's like, Rickles, you okay? And his face is just half bit off. So I don't think they actually know it's Abigail at this point, though. They're still thinking it's Lazar causing all this fucking lunacy, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So his face is just like bit off, and they still don't know who's doing this. So they go and check on the girl, and they're like, all right, we have to just kill this girl. They go in, and Peter, he's about to put a bullet in this girl's head, and Abigail gets out of the cuffs, man, and all shit breaks loose. This is where we see the transformation.
I love this scene, particularly when she takes those cuffs off, and it's so super casual. And then they shoot her in the head. Did you notice that she literally wiped the bullet wound off her forehead?
Dude, it was so fucking sick. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, she just literally, like a bead of sweat, just wipes a bullet off her forehead.
It was fucking great. Yeah, just like she has the bullet hole there. She's on the ground, and then she fucking just wipes it off, man. So I thought that was great. And this is where they're like, oh, we fucked up. So they get out of the room and they like lock her behind. They go downstairs. This is probably my favorite thing so far in this movie. We just kidnapped a fucking vampire.
Yeah, that was a good quote.
Oh, I thought that was funny as hell. Man.
Speaking of quotes, I forgot to say, like before when Sammy went upstairs to talk to Abigail when they had her in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Dude, Abigail said something that made me fucking give me goosebumps.
Oh, yeah. What was that again?
She looks at her and she goes, "I'm sorry about what's going to happen to you."
Yes. Yeah, that was awesome.
I was like, oh, shit.
Yep. She's just fucking with them at this point.
Yep. Like she makes Sammy think that it's all about her dad.
Yeah.
Like her dad's going to go fucking ballistic. But no, Abigail's like, you're in my playhouse, you know?
Yeah. So this whole fucking thing was set up by Abigail because she's bored. She just does it.
Yeah, she gets this Lambert guy who Giancarlo Esposito is like the best villain on the fucking planet.
He's great, yeah.
But anyways, this guy's working for her essentially and bringing her people to kill.
Yeah, I know. Dude, it's crazy. And like the transformation you see her from like, you know, Abigail, little girl in the bed, chained up, to Abigail being locked behind an elevator gate, complete 180. That's when she... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that is fucking hilarious because they know she's a vampire.
Yeah.
And they just locked her in an elevator like she couldn't get out.
Yeah. She made it seem like she couldn't get out, that she's locked away. And she's just fucking with them the whole time. She's giving them options like, oh, if you let me out, I'll let one of you live. And they're all just like, no. And Peter wanted to, and then Joey shot him. Just a little flesh wound, nothing big. Just like, dude, don't fucking do that. She's a vampire.
Yeah.
So Frank decides he's going to fuck with her a little bit because she said to him, I'll make a deal with you. I'll give you the way out if you let me out of this cage. And she ends up giving him the exit first, telling him how to get out. And then he goes, oh, I can't unlock it. And she just smashes the thing down. Like, she could have did it a whole fucking time. She could have smashed that gate down the whole entire time. She's just fucking with them the whole time. That. It's awesome. You know what's funny? I wanted to like bring this up too. This kind of had From Dusk Till Dawn vibes based on like the kidnapping and then getting to a place where they thought they were safe. And then boom, vampires. So I thought I saw some similarities there. Obviously, less boobs, but...
less boobs, less Tom Savini.
Yep. So yeah, we're jumping ahead a little bit because the reason why she's actually locked away at the moment is because they drugged her. But before they drugged her was this whole ridiculous scene that we were kind of mentioning where she was walking on the banister and doing her pirouettes. And at one point, she's got Frank by the leg and he's like, she's fucking flying because she's like levitating.
Yeah, such good quotes.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of great quotes in this. Also, Sammy gets bit in that scene. But then what happens after, that's when she's like locked behind that gate for the elevator. And Sammy's like, what the fuck's going to happen to me? Am I going to turn into a vampire? Abigail just shrugs. Like, oh, I don't fucking know. She's like, she's probably just so used to fucking killing people and doesn't like, never had a situation where someone just gets straight up bit. But she's been around for centuries. She knows what she's doing.
Right at this point, too, is like where we find out that Abigail was staging the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like her playhouse.
So I kind of had a feeling that this was all a setup because when the shutters came down.
Mm-hmm. Like some Resident Evil shit.
Yeah, this house was meant to keep people inside of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, it was either meant to keep people inside or just meant to ensure darkness. Now, darkness, that makes sense because vampires apparently explode like fucking water balloons in this movie.
Yeah, they do.
Like, just...
red Kool-Aid everywhere.
Yeah, red Kool-Aid everywhere. Oh, yeah. So, actually, we can go with this scene still because she smashes the gate down and she's on top of Frank. And Joey starts hitting the wall and makes a like kind of a beam of light. And Abigail's hand blows off. Now, like every vampire movie I have seen, they always get like set on fire or like their skin is burning. They're not necessarily exploding as soon as sunlight hits them. This is new. I've never seen like straight exploding vampires.
Yeah, it looked like she was holding an M80 on the 4th of July.
Yeah, exactly. You know, a little cherry bomb.
Just popped like a tomato.
Yeah, just keep it right in your hand and say, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right? Boom. See you later, fingers.
It's the only way to do it.
It's the only way. You don't put it in mailboxes or toilet bowls. You just hold it in your hand and fucking take it. You just fucking go with it. So seeing her act in this scene when she's behind that gate was so sinister. And this is where I was like, man, this girl's going to be a star. And you have reservations, I guess.
I have silly reservations.
All right, let's hear it.
So that scene where Abigail and Sammy were dancing.
Yeah.
It was so cringe.
Okay.
I was like, oh no, this isn't happening. It was kind of painful to watch. It just didn't look good.
All right. So that's one of your bigger gripes about this movie.
So that, and then I can't remember who it was, but there was someone vomiting like not too long after this.
Oh, Frank, when he was vomiting blood forever?
Yeah, it looked like that scene from Team America. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of dumb, but...
Yeah, it's because of, what's his name? I know him as Gus from Breaking Bad. Bit him to try to turn him into a vampire, which he did turn him into a vampire. And then he started fucking puking up blood everywhere. Fucking, it was all over the place, man. And actually, I don't know if you saw this too, but it actually got on the camera lens at one point.
No, I didn't notice that. Little spots?
Yeah, little spots. Or one time it like straight up flushed the camera red. So there was a lot of blood happening. There was a lot of blood in this movie, period.
Yeah, and then like my other gripe, the cheesiness, was this scene. So Frank gets turned.
Yes.
And Frank starts biting Abigail.
Yeah.
Since fucking when do vampires bite vampires?
Fuck if I know. He probably did it because he fucking hates her.
Yeah, but like if you're a vampire, you like, isn't it like a thing where you lose all like sense of control and, you know, sensibility, kind of shit like that? Like, I don't know. I thought that was kind of lame.
Got it. I could have swore things about like poison blood. You know, if a vampire is drinking another vampire's blood, like that's supposedly not a thing. Like they get sick or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking Blade. And I think that happened in Blade, where vampires like do vampire blood made them sick.
Yeah, that might be right.
Sounds it. Specifically Blade 2, the brother who was like the friggin' mutated vampire who like sucked the life force out of vampires somehow. I don't know. He had this like weird fucking tongue thing and his jaw unhinged, or like it just broke apart. It was fucking weird.
Was that the one that Triple H was in, or was it the third one?
Triple H was in the third one.
Okay.
Yeah. So, by the way, Lazar, I'm thinking this is straight up Dracula, but they just never say his name is Dracula the whole time.
That's also what I thought, and the reason I thought that is because he said I go by many names.
Which makes sense. That would be Dracula. Sure.
And I did look it up, and I think they're kind of using this as an entry to reboot like the Universal Monsters.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Because obviously Dracula's part of them.
Right. Yeah.
So, and yeah, I mean, Dracula is like the vampire. So hopefully they do go that route.
That could be cool. Rebooting that whole monster franchise like that, like Dracula and Dr. Frankenstein's monster and Creature from Black Lagoon and Werewolf, you know, things like that. The big four. You know, remaking that, they've tried over the years. They've tried with like werewolf movies, and they've been kind of lackluster. So we're at this point now where, yes, he bit Abigail, but he wanted to become a vampire so that way he can take on Abigail because she's just too strong, obviously. So I was thinking that Frank was actually starting to be kind of a good guy. Like he was working his way there. And then as soon as he turned into a vampire, he was just like, nope, ultra heel now. I'm the bad guy of the whole movie. Now this is where it gets interesting. There's a 180 deal. So Abigail is now turning into like the good vampire because clearly Frank is a dick and we all know that. But now he's like the ultra dick being a vampire.
Her and Joey team up.
Exactly. They team up at the end and dude, it's a pretty ridiculous fight. She takes a ginormous back bump off a balcony. Just
how the fuck she got up after that?
I don't know, man. They would have been like, she would have just had no air in her lungs whatsoever.
My fucking spine shattered while watching it.
Oh, I know. And yeah, and she gets like this fucking rod jammed through her like shoulder too. And then later on, she's like pulled off of it. I was like, ugh. It's like, because it was so slow and you just see it pulling. Yeah. Fucking gnarly, dude. They team up and they end up actually killing Frank via light again. You know, and he blew up like a fucking water balloon and the Kool-Aid Man and all that.
Yep. Light became the secret weapon.
Yeah.
Although we forgot to talk about the beginning when they figured out Abigail was a vampire, the whole crew decided to like get all their weapons together.
Yeah. Oh, you know,
this is typical good. Like steaks and garlic and stuff.
Yep.
But Sammy doesn't know the difference between garlic and onions.
They're part of the same family, but they're two different things.
I was crying.
Oh, it's funny. Crying like you were cutting onions.
Yeah, cutting the onions.
Yep. You were watching TV, cutting onions, crying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the only reason why you cry.
Yeah, never, ever.
But in Sammy's defense, it's the same family. They all hang out together at the supermarket. It's just different type. That's it. So B for effort. Nah, C for effort. You'll get a C.
Yeah, she tried.
She tried.
And survived. No, she died, actually.
Yeah, she died.
Joey survives.
Yeah, Joey's the only one that survives. So this is where I'm like, I completely forget about Lazar because I'm thinking that Lazar is just fake. It doesn't exist. It's Abigail the whole time. Turns out it was Lazar that turned Abigail when she was a child. So she's obviously in that form for the rest of her life, or for eternity, I guess. There is no rest of her life. She's infinite. But I forget that he's even supposed to be in this. And then Joey's leaving and boom, Lazar comes in. I'm like, oh, she's going to get fucked up by this guy now. So I was thinking we were going to get one of those like endings where the lead, like the good person, I wouldn't even say she's good. She kidnapped a child. So she's just the better of the bunch, the nicer of the bunch. I don't know. Maybe that.
The better of the bunch. Okay.
We'll go with the better of the bunch. Like they're all kind of idiots, but she's like less of an idiot. I don't know. So Abigail stops Lazar from attacking her because she protected her. You know, Joey protected her. And then she just leaves. She's allowed to leave and scene fade to black. And that's it.
Yeah, it was a cool ending.
It was a cool ending. It's a wild movie. It's very crazy. Corey, what do you give it?
So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
And this is what I was asking you before when I asked you if you read my notes. Because I said, Alisha Weir was so awesome as Abigail. For a girl as young as she is, she's going to be a star.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I didn't hate this movie at all. It had some great gore, and I love the comedic aspects of it. They were great. But we spoke about this briefly before. I did not like the cheese. That's what left a sour taste in my mouth about this.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I truly think that this movie is what Megan wanted to be, and I'm glad the sequel keeps getting delayed. And I hope it keeps getting delayed so we never have to fucking suffer through it.
Yeah, this girl was great. She's going to be a star. I didn't read your notes at all, man. Like you and I, same wavelength. I'm actually surprised you went 4 out of 5. Because, yes, I went 4 out of 5 as well. Actually, I initially had it as a 5 out of 5 because I was entertained like you wouldn't fucking believe during this. So I'll just go into like this whole spiel here. I love this movie, the score, the cast, the gore, comedy. It was like just hitting every single cylinder for me. I wasn't bored at all. Didn't look at the time. I was just into it, man. And sometimes I was actually forgetting to take notes because like I was just kind of into it and enjoying it and watching it. I highly recommend it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I actually had to bring it down from a 5 out of 5 because I was thinking to myself, this movie was really good. But was it the menu good? And that's when I was like, no, it's not the menu good. Menu is 5 out of 5.
Is this what we're doing now? We're basing our 5 out of 5s and comparing it to the menu?
Yeah, exactly.
Boy.
No, we gotta redo everything.
That's a high bar. I don't know if I like it.
Yeah, the menu is a fucking high bar, man. I was looking at that vinyl, by the way. I was tempted to buy it. I've been on a vinyl kick, everyone.
Is it in stock again?
I didn't see it out of stock.
Oh, and I'm only asking because like it was out of stock. So if they restocked it, you should get it because you know how good it is.
Yeah, that thing is awesome looking.
By the way, I got my Ratatouille vinyl that I talked about last week.
Oh, yeah. How is it?
I don't have it yet. I got Ratatouille and Up.
Ratatouille and Up. Up, the most depressing movie scene you will ever see in your entire life.
Mm-hmm. Now I got the music to go along with it.
Perfect. That beginning, man, is like, it is a masterclass in writing.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite Pixar films. Is it Pixar? No, I can't remember.
Pixar. I get DreamWorks and Pixar mixed up.
Yeah, same.
So, yeah, either way, that beginning, man, where it just tells the whole love story and it's just like fucking waterworks. I don't care. That's so depressing to watch that. But
yeah, when his wife dies.
Yeah, it's rough. It's so rough.
Yeah. For a Disney movie, that really that pushed the bar.
It really did.
Or push the boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely did, man. So, yeah, I initially had it as a 5 out of 5, but I decided, okay, maybe I'm being very generous here. But I didn't think anything bad about it. I enjoyed all of it. Maybe I should just say 5 out of 5 and say fuck it.
You can't.
I can't take it back.
You can't. You already said it.
I did. It's recorded. It's 4 out of 5 at this point. But if I gave it,
you can edit.
All right, I'll edit it. Fuck it. I'm gonna go 5 out of 5. I had a lot of fun watching this, and the girl that played Abigail, she's gonna be a star. It's almost like she played 2 different characters or 3 different characters in this movie.
She reminded me, I feel like this is a topic every episode.
Okay.
But James McAvoy. Right? Because he plays the Beast and like several different characters.
Oh my God, yep.
But do you agree with the reference?
Yeah, I agree.
Why is James McAvoy in every episode of this podcast?
Because we're preparing for the big unveiling of him being a co-host. Sign me up.
Yeah, I'll take James McAvoy if he wants to be on this. I'll make an exception.
Fuck yeah. 3 co-hosts, I don't care. As long as one of them's James McAvoy. I hope one day we get him on this and he starts off the whole podcast. I don't say anything and people are just like, what's happening? Why is James McAvoy on this podcast? Like, we just fuck with people. And
right.
I would love it, but that's a hard ask. Who knows? Maybe like they'll hear this and they'll say, man, this podcast talks about you a lot.
Let's get James McAvoy trending so he notices us.
Hashtag 30 Screams or James.
I like it.
All right. Let's make that happen. Oh, man. But this is a fun movie. I highly recommend it. I hate that I had to pay for it, but I don't regret owning it. I had to pay $25 to fucking buy this thing on digital.
That's fucking ridiculous.
So here's what I need, everyone. I need y'all to buy some merch so I can reimburse myself $25 for watching this movie. I commit to the bit. I do it for the art. I wanted us to review this movie, so I was like, I'm going to have to rent it. I have to. So now I need the money back.
You know what? I think you should just kind of eat this one because usually you ask for your money back if the movie was shit.
You're right. That's why I'm like not so upset about it. When I bought it, I was like, that stings. And then I watched it. I didn't think about how much it cost me the whole time. I just thought about how much I was enjoying it.
Now, if you paid $25 to watch like Underground or The Anchor,
I would be flipping my apartment.
You would be the Kool-Aid man.
I'd be like, oh yeah, just oh, my freaking security deposit gone.
Yeah, you ain't getting that back, bud.
Nope. Mm-mm. All right, everyone, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on all podcast platforms so we can get some more exposure. Of course, tell your friends. Both our intro and outro music are courtesy of Andrew Scott Bell. Be sure to check out Andrew on all major streaming platforms. And if you see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey on vinyl in the wild, be sure to pick it up. We're also part of the Shining Wizards Network. Be sure to visit shiningwizardsnetwork.com. They're an awesome podcast network ranging from wrestling to heavy metal, horror, all that good stuff. So check that out. Visit 30screamsorless.com for all previous episodes and transcripts to go with those episodes. Also, check out beardoctane.com for their whole line of grooming supplies. And be sure to use the code 30screams10 at checkout for 10% off your order. And if there's anything you want us to review, send an email to 30screamsorless@gmail.com or hit us up on social media. Use hashtag 30screamsorless. And also, we have some awesome merch for sale on our website, so definitely check that out. If you go to our website, at the very top, there's a shop link. Click that link, and you'll see all sorts of shirts, hats, mugs, things like that. If you buy it, it helps going towards our hosting costs. I'm Steve.
I'm Corey.
And thanks for listening to 30 Screams or Less. And don't forget to drink your beans.